Hi all, I'm very happy to welcome you to the session on JavaScript data types. So before proceeding with JavaScript data types, let's understand what is a data type. If you want to understand data type is just a classification, okay, in a programming language, in any programming language. So whatever value you saved in a variable, the programming language need to understand what type of whether it is a number, string, or a boolean, so that it can give its function. Because for a number it will have a different functions available. For string it may have a different function available, like for string there will be slice and all those methods. So through data types only we tell, okay, it is a classification by which you tell to the programming language, this is the type of variable I'm saving here, okay. So in case of JavaScript, if you want to understand, whatever you save it in a variable, it will get interpreted as one of the data types which will be available in JavaScript, okay. So other thing I want you to understand is JavaScript is dynamically typed. If you take in case of Java or .NET, it is all static type. So you very well mentioned that what is the data type I am going to put into a variable, like int a equal to 10. If you say, I'm before itself I'm saying to the Java compiler that going to save a integer value in a. But in JavaScript we don't tell that. It is automatically interpreted by JavaScript. If I put var a equal to 10, it will since you have put a 10 into a, it will automatically interpret that it is a number data type. Once it interprets it as a number data type, if you try to call a dot or something, it will give you all the number methods because it has classified it as a number data type, okay. Now moving on to our core topic, that is the data types which are available. So we have around 7 data types. So whatever you put inside a variable, okay, var a equal 10 or what var a equal to abc, it will get interpreted as only as one of the data types, okay, not anything else, one of the data types. So number is quite simple, okay. So number, string, boolean, null, undefined, object, and symbol. So these three, the first three are said to be primitive data types, okay. Let's see it with an example, okay. If I take a Chrome and go to my console, if I say var a equal to 10, since I have put a number into a variable, the a will be interpreted as a number data type by JavaScript engine. So if you say type of a, it will interpret it as number. Similarly, if I want to check it for the string data type, if I try to put a string, it will be dynamically typed as string by JavaScript engine. If I try to execute type of a, you will be able to get a string, okay. Similarly for a boolean, if I try true, the type of a will be boolean. Similarly for false as well. Okay, sorry. If I put type of a, it will be boolean. So this is about primitive data types, okay. Now let's move. Hope you understood all the three. So now let's move to the null, okay. So null, if you take so first let us see undefined. It is right here, undefined, okay. So undefined, if you understand, it is a data type, okay. The undefined is value will be always assigned by JavaScript engine. In some cases, in programming, people even assign undefined. If var a equal to undefined, so that should not be done. Undefined will always be assigned by the JavaScript engine. You should not assign undefined. Um if you want to set a undefined value, you nullify a value, you should use null, which will be seen in the next slide. So this value will be assigned by the JavaScript engine in the creation phase of the execution context. The by default, it in the if you creation phase of execution context is when it tries to scan through a file, whatever variables it sees, by default the JavaScript engine will be assigning undefined to it. I will have a separate session on execution context. Okay. And in cases when the object property that does not exist, undefined property will be assigned to those values. If your object does not have a particular key and you are trying to access, in that case also undefined will be assigned by JavaScript engine. Or a function parameter that has not been supplied, but you try to console log that function parameter, that case also undefined will be, you have not passed a function parameter, in that case also undefined will be set by JavaScript engine. And even in case of return value of functions, but you have not set any return value from that function, that case also undefined will be set. So so try to understand the undefined is always set by the JavaScript engine and you should not set it by yourself. So this should be you should understand this very carefully, that I want to reiterate, because people do this error many times. They themselves assign undefined, but this undefined is always set by the JavaScript engine. So other thing I want to show you is, consider I'm creating something called var b, variable b. Maybe I will first clear it off. I'm declaring it, and if I try to see the what is the value set in b, you will see undefined. So in cases when you don't assign a value, undefined is set by default by JavaScript engine. So this can be understood by here. You don't assign a value to a variable also. By default, undefined is set. Uh, uh, if you want to say it in particular, it will be set in the creation phase of execution context. Okay. Let's move to the null now. Null, if you understand, null is set by the user if you want to nullify a value. Okay. So undefined is set by the JavaScript engine. Null can be set by the user if you want to nullify a value. So null means no value or non-existence of any value. Null, if you take, it is an object. Okay. It is an object, but it has no properties and it is not mutable, and only a single instance of the same exists in the system at all times. Now let us see example for null. Okay. Let me go to my browser. Okay, this is my browser. Let me clear it. So let me have some variable c, and you can define, and I will define null to c. Okay, null to c. Now if you see the value of c, it will say it is object. Okay, because null is a object. Okay, always understand, you should, it is not, you are not, though it is not allowed here, you are not supposed to do this, because this, it is like overriding the JavaScript engine functionality. So you should always set null, not undefined, if you want to nullify a value. If you have a value here, maybe if you will consider, if you have a value 20, if you don't want 20, you can set c to null, but you should not set c to undefined. Understand? So if you try to get the data type of C, it will be an object because null is an object. Okay. Now going to our next data type, which is object. Now till here we have seen number, string, boolean, null, undefined. So let's now see what is object. It is one of the important interview question. What is an object in JavaScript? The simple answer is it is just key value pairs. That's the simple answer for an object. Object in JavaScript is simply key value pairs. Let me prove it with the example. Okay, I create a variable called object. If you put like this also, now it is a simple. I don't have a key value pairs, but it's still this is an object. Okay, okay. So you can also create a key value pair, maybe A 10, B some value, anything can be done. Okay. Now also the object type of obj will be object. So in JavaScript, object is nothing but key value pairs. You understand? Simply, it is just this key value pairs. Even if you don't have a key value pair, it is, and I put just the opening and closing curly braces, then also it is an object in JavaScript. So other important thing I wanted to illustrate, make you understand is there are many people saying that all are objects in JavaScript, but it is not true. All are objects in JavaScript other than the mentioned primitives, whatever we mentioned, right? String, boolean, number. Other than primitives and undefined, all are objects in JavaScript. So there is no any particular data type for arrays or functions or anything else. So other than this primitives and undefined, all are objects. Internally, JavaScript will interpret only it as objects. Okay. That's why even functions are called as first value objects. Okay. Arrays are internally converted as objects. So understand this very clearly. Okay. So the what we understood from this session, the important takeaway is that these are the six data types. We have seen six data types. Seventh data type is symbol. It was introduced in ES6. It is more related with metadata. I can cover it in a separate session. It is a big topic. I can cover it in a separate session. This is what we saw in this session, and we saw about undefined and null, and we also saw about object, and we also understood that all objects are in Java, all are objects in JavaScript other than primitives and undefined. Hope you understood. Kindly subscribe so that you will get to know all my future videos. My schedule is try to put a video every day, but at least I will try to put 2 videos per week. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a nice time. Bye.